I know exactly what my goals are. And then I can ask, as fires come up during the day, I can ask the question, is that going to get me closer to my goal, or is it going to be pull me further away from it? Is that going to be get me closer to where I want to be, or is it going to pull me away from it? But if you sit down and you write your goals down every single morning, first of all, you're ingraining them in your brain, like creating a record, right? Because every day you're writing it down. There's something to pen and paper. I sit down with a journal and a pen, and I'm that freak that uses a different colored pen every day so I can see the different days. It's not just one big run on, but I write my goals down every single day, and it really helps me to stay focused on where I'm going and the direction that I want and what steps that I need to take in order to get that. Also, what I did was, is as I was writing each of the goals down, I was visualizing, right? So I'd write down my goal, and then I'd close my eyes and visualize just for a couple seconds that I'd already achieved that goal. And then the second goal, the same thing. I'd close my eyes. I'd write my second goal down after after the first one, and I'd write it down and then close my eyes. And then I'd visualize that that goal had already happened. There's something to looking at the visualization, looking at your brain doesn't know the difference between today and what's real and what's not real. Years ago, and I can tell you, I walked on fire years ago with Anthony Robbins. I had an opportunity to participate in an Unleash the Power Within event in Los Angeles years ago. And as we were getting ready to walk on fire, we were telling our brain that it was cool moss. Now you could see the embers underneath the coals. I knew they were hot. There was not a doubt in my mind that they were hot. But because I was telling my mind that it was cool moss, I didn't get burned. I got to the end, they rinsed off my feet, and it was fine. I truly walked on fire. And so I try and do that as I write my goals down. I visualize, because my brain doesn't know the difference whether I'm telling it that it really happened or whether I'm telling it that it's happening in the future. If I'm telling in my brain that it's already taken place, my brain will believe it, and it starts to open doors. So there are ways then things will start to open up that will get you closer to achieving your goals by doing that. So try and write your goals down every single morning. The fourth way to have a stellar 2021 is to make a list of things that you are grateful for at the end of every day. It was really tough in the middle of the pandemic, early on when we weren't sure what was going on, and, having to be quarantined to your house and questioning, will things ever go back to the way that they were? And, they're shutting restaurants down, they're shutting hair salons down, they're shutting all these things down. They're basically taking things away from us that we are used to having, right? The lines are at the grocery store. You can't find toilet paper. You can't find water. All the things that were at Costco's and Sam's Club in abundance, now all of a sudden everybody's trying to grab as much as they can. And so it really took a lot for me to sit back and say, okay, look, again, I'm not participating in this. I'm going to be grateful. I'm not going to look at what I don't have. I'm going to sit and be grateful for what I do have. Again, Anthony Robbins, I'm a huge fan of Anthony Robbins, and he has a saying that I learned from that Unleash the Power Within event that I attended, and that is that you can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. I really want you to think about that. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. So what do you want to choose? Do you choose to be grateful, or do you choose to be fearful? I don't want to live in fear. I just don't. I don't want that anxiety. I don't want my heart to take all that tension from living in fear. I'm going to choose gratitude. So every night, and at the end of the day, right, the whole day's happenings have taken place, and I get to bed at the end of the night and I'm thinking about whatever, things that I should have said, things I didn't say, phone calls I didn't make, emails that I didn't send, whatever that looked like, right? I'm thinking about all those things. This was a way for me to quiet my mind, to sit down at the end of the night and make a list of 10 things that I was grateful for at the end of the day, 10 things that maybe I otherwise would have looked past, maybe things I wouldn't have seen. I'm not sure. But what a great way at the end of the day to just recall all the things that you're grateful for. Making a list of everything that you're grateful for. It pushes out fear. You can't be fearful. But you're also quieting your mind for a much more restful night's sleep. Now think what would happen if you did that every day for a year. Look at all of the lists that you would have of all of the incredible things that you have in your life to be grateful for. That's all you can focus on. Focus on all the things that you're grateful for. Make that list every single night at the end of the night. And the fifth thing to make next year to be a stellar year is to record your magic moments. You know, when my son was born, he's 18 now. I was not a mom that was really good with a baby book. I just wasn't. I have it, and I've got his first haircut, and I've got his first tooth, and I have so many of those things. But it wasn't a place that I found that I was writing in every single day. I journaled for him. I would have a journal that was there, and even if it was just something, Glenn, I'm trying to think of his name, Glenn Beck had said that years ago when he had his talk show. He said, even if you can just write down bullet points, like journal every single day. And it doesn't have to be these long drawn out stories or paragraphs, but just these bullet points. And so and again, it's an Anthony Robbins thing, but he talked about celebrating your magic moments. That's what my journaling did for Seth. You know, when my son was little, I only have one child. And, you know, he would do something that was so cute. And I would look at him, and I remember looking at my late husband, and I would say, oh my gosh, that was so cute. I'm going to remember that forever. And then the next day, Seth would do something, and it was so cute. And I'd like, oh my gosh. And then I would try and think, now, what was it yesterday that he did that was so cute? I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what he did yesterday that was so cute. Because all of those magic moments, they happen. And then the next magic moment happens, and you forget about the previous magic moment. So what would happen if every day, at the end of the day, when you're practicing gratitude, that you wrote down some of those magic moments? Or you took the opportunity while the magic moment was happening, or just after the magic moment was happening, you made a note that this magic moment happened. What would that be like at the end of the year? What kind of library of magic moments would you have at the end of the year? I know that I forget more than I remember, but that was why it was so important for me to journal for Seth, because I didn't want to forget. I knew that I was only going to have one child, and I didn't want to not remember all of the amazing things that he did when he was growing up. And now, given the fact that his dad's not here, because we wrote down some of those magic moments, Seth and I can go back through and look at some of those that we had together, and that the magic moments that we had with his dad, which sparks a conversation, right? It sparks laughter. It sparks something. And maybe had I not written them down, we wouldn't have remembered it. But I want to challenge you to think about and write down all of the magic moments for this next year, because they happen all the time. And because they happen all the time, we tend to forget some of the magic moments. So what if you committed to writing down the magic moments for the next year? And on New Year's Eve of 2021, you sit down and you pull that notebook out, or you pull that journal out. And if you're by yourself, you just simply you remember all of the amazing things, all the incredible little tidbits of moments. Somebody buying you a Starbucks, you buying somebody else's Starbucks, somebody giving you a parking space, all of those things, something that you prayed for that came to fruition. All of those magic moments. If that New Year's Eve, you're sitting down and you're actually reviewing all of those magic moments. If you're with your loved ones, it would spark a conversation, and it would spark, laughter, some stories that would come out of that. But what would happen if you had a year's worth of magic moments? What would that look like next New Year's Eve when you could actually sit down and review all of those magic moments? And how can you be in a pessimistic place when you're looking at all the incredible things that happen to you throughout the year? So let's review. Here's the things that I want to challenge you to do to have an absolutely incredible 2021. So the first thing is to choose a word for the year, whatever your theme's going to be. Number 2, set some incredibly crazy cool goals, but not just the goal. Write down your why and write down one action item that you can take right now that will get you closer to that goal. Number 3, get up every morning and write your goals down. Every single day, make a commitment. And when I talk about crazy cool, you don't have to set 10 of them, just set 3, set 2 crazy cool goals, whatever it is. But every single morning, get up and write those 2 goals down so that you are focused on those goals for the day. Number 4, make a list of things that you're grateful for and do it at the end of every day. So that at the end of the year, you have this amazing journal filled with all the things that you have to be grateful for. And number 5 is record your magic moments. Take some time every day to write down all of those little God winks that happen in your life that you forget about, so that at the end of the year, you can go back in and look and see what an incredible life that you have and what an incredible year you had. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited that you are here. And I hope that you implement all of these things that we talked about today so that 2021 can be an incredible year for you. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to know more about Hello Gorgeous, you can email me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org, or you can look at our website, which is www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker. And until next time, stay gorgeous.